So let's say an employee needs, 14 days off of work to isolate for COVID-19 symptoms. The first 3 days would be paid for by their employer. The rest of that time off, they would then have to apply to the Canada Sickness Recovery Benefit. And so they would be able to then get 500 from the federal government, 500 from the province, and their entitlement would last up to about 20 days. So they would now have, in effect, 23 days that they would be able to take off while getting money back from, both levels of government and from their employer as well. It sounds like a complicated system. It is going to be a complicated system because it means different, people and employers and employees are responsible for applying. So it depends really on how savvy you are being able to apply for a benefit. But now this is intended to cover the employee from the moment they have any symptoms, from the moment they're worried, the moment they have to take a day off of work, until the day that they are recovered and ready to come back to work.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because sometimes it can be very difficult to navigate the bureaucracy, as we all know. And I'm curious whether this is enough. Is this what people were asking for, Colin, or did people want more?
Well, you have to look at what the Ontario Science Advisory Table has been recommending this entire time, Todd, and that is, some kind of paid sick leave program so that people can take time off of work without having to worry about being able to put food on the table. They didn't really specify exactly how many days, should be given to these employees. Now, if you take a look at other pieces of legislation that have been tabled in the not so recent past, the NDP has tabled a bill that would have given employees 7 days of emergency leave. The Ontario Liberals tabled a piece of legislation that would have given employees 10 days of paid sick leave. And now we're going to see a legislation coming from the Doug Ford Conservative government that will give employees 3 days of paid sick leave. So obviously you have a variety of approaches here. Not everyone agrees on how many days an employee should receive. But here's the key. This is going to be legislation. Unless the other parties, the NDP, the Liberals, and the Green Party in Ontario, give the government unanimous consent, they're going to have to battle this out. They are going to have to, go through the debate, go through the motions that any piece of legislation will have to go through. So we don't know when this is actually going to be available to employees. And it seems like from the other pieces of legislation that have been proposed in the past by other parties, they want a lot more than 3 paid sick days.